Thank you for joining us tonight. You're now with me, Cheryl Shaminato, for TVS Nightline. Let's begin with the headlines tonight. The Special Council on Malaysia Agreement 1963 has agreed to the proposed amendments to Article 1(2) and Article 160(2) of the Federal Constitution that would return Sabah and Sarawak to equal status with the peninsula.
Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Dato' Sri Dr. Maximus Ongkili said the decision was made during the council meeting chaired by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob on Tuesday. He said the proposal was tabled by Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Law and Parliament, Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, who also heads the MKMA 63's Equal Status Working Committee, adding that the current proposed amendments were very different from the ones proposed by the Pakatan Harapan government in 2018. He further said that the MKMA 63 had agreed to the proposed amendments to be tabled during the next parliament sitting. In the same statement, Wan Junaidi explained that the amendments would define the status of all states in Malaysia in line with the Federation of the Malaya Agreement 1957, MA 63, and the position following Singapore's exit in 1965.
Prime Minister Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has urged Malaysians to view differences as strengths rather than weaknesses and similarities as resilience in coping with the country's present economic and health challenges. He reiterated, as Malaysians, everyone must work together to revitalize the country and adapt to the new norms.
Kita jalin dan kukuhkan kembali perpaduan dengan ikatan kasih sayang dan toleransi sebagai sebuah keluarga Malaysia yang besar. Siapapun kita, sama ada seorang bapa, ibu, anak, jiran, pekerja, ketua pejabat, pemimpin masyarakat, pemimpin agama atau pemimpin politik, masing-masing perlu memainkan peranan untuk memulihkan kembali negara ini demi kesejahteraan keluarga Malaysia.
Ismail Sabri conveyed the special message in conjunction with the Malado Rasul celebrations that was broadcast live today. He stated the rise and fall of a race in a country is determined by their unity and solidarity. He stressed that the government will continue to emulate the initiatives implemented by the Prophet as a guide in the country's administration for the prosperity of the Malaysian family.
Keluarga Malaysia yang saya kasihi sekalian, dengan kepercayaan bahawa Nabi Muhammad SAW merupakan suri teladan yang terbaik umat manusia, kerajaan telah dan akan meneladani inisiatif dan strategi yang dilaksanakan oleh Rasulullah SAW sebagai panduan dalam pentadbiran negara demi kemakmuran keluarga Malaysia.
On the theme of this year's Maulidur Rasul celebration, which is Manhaj Rabbani Ummah Berkualiti, Ismail Sabri said it led to the norms of life that emphasize the principles of the Manhaj Rabbani policy, namely blessings, peace, godliness, devotion, and justice. All these values, he said, were in line with the three main thrusts of the Malaysian family concept, namely inclusivity, common ground, and contentment, in addition to 20 other values such as compassion, faith, love, and musyawarah, consensus through discussion.
Meanwhile, the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee, SDMC, will find ways to get the PENANS, a minority ethnic group in Ulu BARAM who refused or objected being vaccinated against COVID-19, to get their jabs soon.
Its chairman, Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Mbas, said the government would seek the assistance of non-governmental organizations and elected representatives to find ways to persuade them. Uga also added that the Miri Division Health Officer, Dr. Ravi Warman Pakieri Sami, told him that they had tried 6 different engagements to persuade the PENANS to be vaccinated. Meanwhile, as this small ethnic group live scattered in some 6 different settlements in Ulu Baram, UGAH agreed to a suggestion by Dr. Ravi Warman for a voluntary medical team led by doctors from the State Health Department as well as retired medical personnel from Baram to visit these settlements.
New and specific standard operating procedures (SOPs) are being outworked to tackle the increasing number of COVID-19 cases among employees in the oil and gas, including shipping sectors in the state. Transport Minister Dato Sri Lee Kim Shin said these workers and their family members in the said sector were the main contributors to the latest number of infections recorded in Miri Division.
He said this during a briefing on the Miri Division COVID-19 booster or third dose and adolescent vaccination rollout program at the Curtin University campus today. He added that the sector requires internal control measures as it contributes between 50 to 100 positive COVID-19 cases to the division daily tally. Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Ahmad Douglas Ugah, who is also the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee Chairman, attended the Health Department briefing. Among the agreed internal control measures to be implemented is the setup of the sector's own private low-risk and quarantine centre or PKRC. Lee said this coming Thursday, another meeting would be held with the leaders to fine-tune the measures proposal and its preparation. The final proposal will then be submitted to SDMC for approval.
The decision to expedite the state election has nothing to do with claims that the state government is trying to avoid the implementation of Undi 18. The Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS Backbenchers Club in a statement said opposition parties have reached a new low to evoke anger amongst the youth.
The accusation surfaced from both Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB and Pakatan Harapan PH Sarawak, alleging that the state government is rushing the state election so that youth will not be able to vote. Such strategy is deemed old and obsolete, where the opposition purposely incited anger among youths during the 14th general election in 2018. This approach of throwing everything at the wall can be interpreted as a sign of desperation from the opposition, whose political capital dried up after their massive blunder during their ruling period. The GPS Backbenchers Club continues to state that GPS has continued to be sensitive and concerned with the aspirations of youths throughout various policies, such as the incentive to pay 30% of student loans and also the Graduan Pulang Sarawak initiative IGPS. The club then called upon the opposition parties to not mislead the youths for the sake of scoring some brownie points, and that the youths are able to evaluate the situation themselves.
And now on to the next highlight. Malaysians eager to travel should take the COVID-19 screening test before going on their trip, urged Tourism, Arts and Culture MOTAC Minister Dato Sri Nancy Shukri. This comes as the interstate travel ban for fully vaccinated people was lifted by the government on October 11.
She said that if one were to exhibit symptoms of COVID-19, she recommended that the trip be postponed in an effort to curb the spread of the virus.
Bagaimanapun, seronok-seronok juga, tetapi perlu diingatkan bahawa kehidupan kita hari ini tidak lagi seperti dahulu. Kerana COVID-19 masih berada dalam persekitaran kita. Kita tidak tahu sehingga bila, tetapi kita perlu sentiasa mengingati antara satu sama lain. Seperti mana yang saya nyatakan pada pihak media tadi, SOP itu perlu sentiasa kita patuhi walau apa juga majlis yang kita anjurkan, ianya perlu mengamal norma baharu.
Furthermore, she is confident that the tourism, arts and culture sectors will revive and recover with the lifting of the ban.
MOTAC juga akan terus memastikan kempen promosi yang lebih agresif dan strategik dilaksanakan bagi merancangkan kembali sektor pelancongan negara.
A naked man shown to be wandering aimlessly at Jalan Kuching, Taman Tunku, Miri in a viral video was believed to be suffering from mental health issues. The man was reported to have run away from home after a domestic argument.
According to Miri District Police Chief ACP Hakam Al-Hawari, his department received a call to find the man for fear that something untoward might happen. The police dispatched a mobile patrol vehicle and the crime prevention unit of the Miri Airport Police Station to track down the man. However, the man returned home by himself in one piece around 10 a.m. on Monday, October 18. Yesterday, the video of the man made rounds on social media.
And now on to the next update. A used car dealer in Pahang has been swindled of 158,800 ringgit by a man who allegedly failed to deliver 8 cars to him. The victim had been introduced by a friend to the man who claimed he could help the 32-year-old dealer procure the Toyota, Perodua and Honda cars.
Pahang Commercial CID Chief Superintendent Muhammad Wazir Muhammad Yusuf in a statement said the male suspect was acting as a middleman who could source for the used cars. Muhammad Wazir said the dealer started making inquiries about the suspect when he could no longer be contacted after August 2020. The dealer then lodged a report with the Kuantan District Police Headquarters after his efforts to contact the suspect failed. He realized that he had been cheated.
Welcome back to the Nightline with a COVID-19 development. The number of new COVID-19 cases in Sarawak remained at 3 figures for a third consecutive day when 749 cases were recorded today. The State Disaster Management Committee, SDMC, said in a statement that only 13 from the total cases involved individuals who had lung infections and required respiratory assistance.
SDMC also reported that 13 new fatalities were recorded between October 9 to October 18, involving individuals aged between 45 and 91 years old with a history of high blood pressure, diabetes and other diseases. 5 localities involving longhouses in the state were placed under the Enhanced Movement Control Order EMCO, with 2 each in Julau and Sri Aman and 1 in Pakan. 2 clusters involving Kampung Batu Kitang Jaya and Kampung Danga in Kuching have ended after no new clusters were recorded in the last 28 days. The country recorded 5,745 new cases today, October 19, bringing the cumulative cases to 2,401,866.
A policy by the Public Service Department, PSD, on COVID-19 immunization involving civil servants will be implemented beginning November 1st. It has been reported that federal civil servants who fail to complete the immunization exercise will be subjected to disciplinary action or termination of services. The matter is stated in the Service Circular No. 4/2021 on the COVID-19 immunization implementation for federal public service officers.
PSD said in its website that officers could be instructed to complete their vaccination exercise from the stated date. Meanwhile, officers who could not complete the COVID-19 vaccine doses due to health factors could be instructed to undergo a medical checkup with a registered medical practitioner. They may also be instructed by the head of department to undergo a COVID-19 test if they have been confirmed unfit to be vaccinated due to health reasons. All civil servants are subjected to the provision under Clause (2) of Article 132 of the Federal Constitution. They too are bound by the letter of undertaking that they have signed under Sub-Regulation 20 (30) of the Public Officers Regulations 2021. The implementation of this new policy was announced last September 30th.
The education sector should be emphasized the tabling of Budget 2022, especially the provisions to improve internet access and digital devices. This is following the home-based teaching and learning system, which will be continued in a new norm.
In making this call, the National Union of Teaching Profession of Malaysia NUTP President Aminuddin Awang said he hoped that the government would provide allocations to provide the internet system in schools to facilitate the PDPR sessions in the post-COVID-19 era. He added the allocations for the purchase of device and internet access for poor students should also be given attention as the PDPR session is expected to continue in the endemic phase. He also hoped that the government would provide a rebate of 1,000 ringgit to teachers to buy laptops for official use, as most of them had to use their own devices, in addition to providing a larger allocation for school maintenance in rural areas, especially in Sabah and Sarawak.
Malaysia's retirement system is ranked 3rd in Asia and 23rd globally. This is according to the Mr. CFA Institute 2021 Global Pension Index, a study on 43 retirement income systems across the globe. It measures each retirement system through 3 weighted sub-indices of adequacy, sustainability and integrity.
Of the 3 sub-indices measured in the 2021 index, Malaysia saw an improvement in its adequacy score to 50.6 this year. The country scored highest for integrity, 76.8, followed by sustainability, 57.5, and adequacy. Malaysia is ranked 15th in the sustainability sub-index that measures the likelihood of the system's ability to provide benefits in the future. 20th for integrity, where factors affecting citizens' confidence in the retirement system are considered. 34th for adequacy, which considers how the country's system is designed to provide adequate retirement benefits. In 2020, Malaysia was also ranked 3rd among Asian retirement systems and 19th among 39 retirement income systems worldwide.
As the upcoming Budget 2022 will be announced, automotive players expect the initiatives to strengthen the local electric vehicle industry and green technology ecosystems. This is in line with the national aspiration of low-carbon mobility objectives and green mobility agenda in the 12th Malaysian Plan unveiled last month.
Volkswagen Passenger Cars Malaysia Managing Director Eric Winter said the group is encouraged by the government's ambition to enhance electromobility or e-mobility. Winter said the government's ambition in the 12th Malaysia Plan to enhance e-mobility is a crucial step for the country to become a low-carbon nation. The shift is already happening globally, where EV are quickly becoming the norm. Honda Malaysia's Sundaran Berhad President and Chief Operating Officer Sarli Adler Sarkam said Honda was the pioneer in introducing hybrid technology to the Malaysian market. He said Honda Malaysia is also appreciative of the government's effort to extend the sales tax exemption until December 2021 and hopes an extension will be announced in the budget.
Speakers who use social media platforms to deliver religious talks or DAKWAH are reminded to exercise mindfulness and have disciplined knowledge. This was taking into account the current reality with regards to the intellectual capacity of the community when delivering religious talks. This is to avoid prolonged polemics.
Malaysian Islamic Development Department JAKIM Director General Dato' Abdul Aziz Jusoh said the various media, especially social media platforms, have a positive impact on the approaches toward da'wah and knowledge sharing. This will ensure that sensitive issues will not result in controversies that should always be avoided. Preachers were also urged to obtain credentials from religious authorities in their respective states to enable them to deliver talks. Abdul Aziz also advised Muslims to acquire knowledge from scholars who have the right qualifications in their respective fields of knowledge.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, popular Malaysian actress Maya Karin could not contain her excitement as she was casted to play the legendary Puteri Santubong for an upcoming musical theatre, Puteri Santubong, The Warrior Princess. Even though she has little knowledge about the legendary tale of Puteri Santubong, Maya takes it as a new challenge and a learning curve in the industry. For the theatre, the Malay-German lady also had to learn the Sarawak dialect and the Malay Sarawak traditional dance.
The thing is, I've heard of the name Puteri Santubong many times, but I never never got to learn the context of Puteri Santubong or the big, large picture of it. Just dengar-dengar aja, macam banyak cerita dongeng di Malaysia. To use art to educate and to keep the story going, and to now reintroduce the next generation to Puteri Santubong.
In an interview with TVS, Maya said her biggest struggle was memorizing the immaculate dance movements that goes together with her script lines due to time limitation.
Unfortunately, macam sepatutnya ada slot untuk rehearsal tapi tak sempat. So we just I have some experience in traditional dancing in terms of persembahan and also for filming. So I managed to find a way that I can learn in 15 minutes and at the same time buat persembahan within an hour with the dancers, with the professional dancers.
Maya was only given 3 days to understand the meaning of each dance moves, apart from learning the Sarawak Malay dialect. Even with such a limited time, she had the opportunity to taste local dishes such as cassava leaves, panso chicken, and midin belacan. She also had the chance to try a fruit that is native to locals here in Sarawak, but is new to her, and that is buah kristal.
Dah kenal, dah tahu, dah cuba dah semua buah-buahan dekat Malaysia. Memang saya sangat peminat buah-buahan dan sayur-sayuran. Tapi rupa-rupanya ada juga lagi buah yang saya tak cuba lagi. And this one is a mystery. Apa nama dia?
Buah kristal.
Buah kristal. Okay, orang Semenanjung semua. And then dia keras macam batu. Okay, kalau I ketuk dekat kepala memang sakit lah. But there's a trick to opening this, and I've learned this yesterday from my makeup artist Sarawak. So dia cakap you kena langgar, you kena langgar dia orang. Okay. So I'm gonna squeeze these two together, and then one will win and one will lose. This is the loser. Bye.
Right. On the other hand, Burundi on Monday rolled out its first COVID-19 vaccine, months after most African countries, as the country shifts towards a more active approach to containing the pandemic.
The vaccination campaign started in the commercial capital of Bujumbura. Dozens of residents queued at a special vaccination site, revealing that they heard about the vaccination drive through word of mouth.
C'est normal, parce que c'est volontaire. Le gouvernement ne m'oblige pas. Donc, si c'est volontaire, s'il arrive quelque chose, c'est à moi que je dois m'en prendre, c'est pas au gouvernement. Et le gouvernement n'oblige pas de venir se faire vacciner. C'est moi qui veux. C'est volontaire.
No government officials were present to inaugurate the launch. The jabs administered on Monday were part of a Chinese donation of 500,000 Sinopharm doses received by Health Minister Thadi Ndikumana on Thursday, October 14. Burundi, a country of about 11.5 million people, has reported 14 COVID-19 deaths and more than 19,300 positive cases. But the country only rarely and sporadically provided data on the spread of the virus over the past 18 months. The start of the campaign leaves Eritrea as the only African country that has yet to start vaccinating its population.
We wrap up the Nightline with this news. A man was caught allegedly commanding his dog to steal toys from a claw machine in southern China.
The video film in the city of Dongguan in Guangdong province on October 12th shows a man holding several toys in his hand as his dog climbed into the machine. According to a witness, the dog took the toys out of the claw machine for the man. Since it was a self-service claw machine placed on the street, no one was looking after it. The video was provided by local media with permission.
And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. And as always, thank you for tuning in to your local news tonight. Here with me, Shosha Mato, and I'll see you next time. Have a good morning.